Welcome to Skywatch Media News. Hello, everyone. In the year 1704, Sir Isaac Newton, who was known as the godfather of physics, wrote that the Earth, as we know it, will be ending in the year 2060, or 1260 years after the beginning of the Holy Roman Empire. Coincidentally, there are quite a few theorists who claim that the planetary system will come close to the Earth during this same time frame, causing many earthquakes and volcanic eruptions. According to Newton's notes, he reached his apocalyptic conclusions by analyzing the Bible's book of Daniel. His predicatory work was kept in the home of the Earl of Portsmouth, and it was kept there for 250 years. Speculation persists that Newton may be referring to Nibiru in his work. Here's what he said. Now, it has been said that Isaac Newton was one of the most prolific apocalyptic thinkers of our time, a famous physicist who was guided more by religion than by science. He devoted 50 years and some 4,500 pages of work predicting when the end of the world would arrive. But he was very reluctant to set a specific date for this event to happen. The Nibiru theory was linked to the end times by Christian fundamentalists who believed that the rapture would begin on September 23rd, connected by celestial activity as interpreted in the spoken word. There are many theorists who believe that the erratic weather and environmental changes on Earth are directly related to its passage. Strangely enough, the government is acting as if nothing is happening. Therefore, if you really want to know about the Earth changes, then you must venture outside the box. NASA scientist David Morrison was compelled to do a YouTube video to specifically debunk the existence of Planet X in an effort to quell public concerns. He wants you to know that there is no images, no tracking, and no observations of an incoming Planet X. When NASA puts out a press release or conducts a news conference to debunk a specific issue of great interest, then it is up to each of us to do our own investigation to see if their findings hold any merit. There are some odd things happening in our solar system that contradict what we are being told by scientists. Our settled and calm planet is looking increasingly disturbed and agitated. The sun is rotating on a tilted angle that the most astute observer is hard-pressed to explain. There is an unsettling perturbance, a planetary presence that is both large and mobile, which, if true, will change our preconceived view of the solar system. Are you an observant skywatcher? If so, then you realize that weather anomalies are spreading across the world as our atmosphere becomes more volatile. Every week there is a new extreme event happening somewhere on Earth. When you first glance at this image, if not for the building in the foreground, it would be strikingly reminiscent of a photo taken from the Martian surface by one of the exploration rovers that are located on the red planet. But the following images are not from Mars. They were taken right here on Earth as an extreme sandstorm engulfed southeastern Turkey on January 19th. The strong winds and heavy dust reduced visibility in many provinces of the country. Near the Syrian border with Turkey, the sky turned an eerie red that had many residents running for cover as the sky turned dark. A powerful windstorm swept over northern Europe on January 18th. Officials in the Netherlands reported winds of 87 miles per hour at the height of the storm, while Germany saw winds up to 126 miles per hour. According to the German Weather Service, this was the worst storm to strike Germany in more than 10 years. Here is a taste of what took place during devastating storm Friederike across Europe. A furious storm of spectacular proportions engulfed Mar del Plata, Argentina, on January the 11th, catching many beachgoers off guard, as seen in these captured images. An offshore storm along the shores of Washington and Oregon created massive waves and flooding on January 18th. According to the National Weather Service, waves more than 30 feet in height were visible near the mouth of the Columbia River. A high surge advisory was in effect along the entire Washington state coast. Surging waves were flooding roads, rolling over seawalls, and pouring over jetties all along the coastline. In ocean shores, a rogue wave knocked onlookers off of their feet. This diagram shows the approximate wave heights that were registered by the Data Buoy Center along the Oregon and Washington coast. A rogue wave of 60 feet was recorded by one of the buoy markers on this date. Drone photographer Joshua Wilkins caught the tidal surge on a dramatic video that was published on January 18th from Ocean Park, Washington. In an article published by the San Francisco Gate on January 19th, Mr. Wilkins, who is an Ocean Park native, stated that he had never experienced the tide coming this far inland before. 2017 was an explosive year for volcanic eruptions worldwide. For every given week of the year, there were between 14 and 27 volcanoes that were erupting. Of the 139 active volcanoes that are located in Indonesia along the Ring of Fire, 18 have had their alert level raised, signifying higher than normal seismic activity, ground deformation, or gas emissions. According to Volcano Discovery, there are more than 30 eruptions currently happening across the planet. Of these, the more dramatic eruptions are happening in Southeast Asia. On January 12th, a major eruption and a sensational pyroclastic flow was photographed at the Sinabung volcano located in Indonesia. On the 15th of January, an eruption of the Agung volcano on Bali Island, Indonesia, was observed. A powerful eruption took place at the Mayan volcano, Philippines, on January 22nd, producing a column of ash that rose some 25,000 feet above sea level. Increased activity at the volcano forced authorities to raise the alert level from 3 to 4. Heavy ashfall was reported in communities around the volcano and as far as 22 miles from the volcanic base. Zero visibility has been reported after the major ash eruption, advising everyone to wear their face masks and to stay indoors. The eruption lasted for some 8 minutes and generated pyroclastic flows to the southwest of the volcano. On Sunday, January 21st, lava fountaining reached a height of about 1,640 feet above the crater. Just days before the 7.6 magnitude earthquake off the northern coast of Honduras in the Western Caribbean, one of the most powerful to hit this region in modern history, an eruption of the Popocatépetl volcano was seen in Mexico. In the first 3 weeks of 2018, there has been a series of earthquakes of magnitude 6.0 or larger, accompanied by a series of very strong volcanic eruptions. On January 21st, a massive magnitude 6.3 earthquake rocked northern Chile. The earthquake was felt as far away as neighboring Peru and Bolivia, according to the USGS. The earthquake was relatively deep, striking at 110 kilometers. The massive quake comes just days after Peru was hit with an even more devastating 7.3 magnitude earthquake. It will become imperative to closely monitor the changes as activity continues to increase across the world. Many of these events, whether induced by nature or manipulated through the hand of humanity, are indicators of a malefic force that is being thrust upon the earth. And thus they are warning signs that the world and its inhabitants will enter into a time of great turmoil and trouble. So as we begin our journey through a time and a place of uncertainty, let's remember who we are and why we are here, what we can do to help one another, and what we can do to prepare ourselves and our associates for the bumpy road ahead. In so doing, you will be more at ease and more self-assured in the journey that we must all take.